With 23,000 in attendance, it was clear that they were trying to ramp up energy for the vice president, especially pulling on the ever-popular Barack Obama with the Democratic base. It was the largest campaign rally yet of this cycle, and it includes star-studded lineup that we're all talking about, not just Harris's strengths as they saw them, but one key theme that the former president, Donald Trump, is a threat to democracy. Bruce Springsteen saying that the former president doesn't know what it means to be truly American. Former President Barack Obama, that Mr. Trump acts goofy, but that does not mean his presidency wouldn't be, quote, dangerous. And he also asked the audience if you want 4 more years of somebody acting like a runaway king. He said that America is ready to turn the page.
Because together we have a chance to choose a new generation of leadership in this country and start building a better and stronger and fairer and more hopeful America.
The vice president hitting that message as part of her closing argument, with just over a week to go until the election. She painted the former president as someone who will now act on his own worst instincts because he won't have people around him who could control him. She pointed to aides like retired Marine, his former and longest serving chief of staff. He's also the former head of the Department of Homeland Security under Trump, John Kelly. He came out against Trump this week and called him a fascist.
There's a choice that everybody has. It's either Donald Trump in there stewing over his enemies list, or me working for you, checking off my to-do list. You have the power to make that decision. It is your power.
She also repeated her sharper criticism of him, calling him also a fascist. He said, as you mentioned earlier, that's not true. He came the same day, though, the former president made this vow about Special Counsel Jack Smith, who brought 2 federal indictments against him. In the past 18 months, he's investigating Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. On conservative radio show Hugh Hewitt, he told him he'd fire Smith in 2 seconds.
No, I don't think they'll impeach me if I fire Jack Smith. Jack Smith is a scoundrel. He's a very dishonest man, in my opinion. Very dishonest man. And they picked a mean man. He's a mean man, but his problem is he's so mean that he always goes too far, like the raid of Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to sue them. I am suing them, essentially. But I'm suing them for raiding Mar-a-Lago.
And Trump was also out stumping last night in the West. He focused heavily on immigration, and it's no wonder both sides are sharpening this message, their rhetoric against the other. Look at this latest poll that has come out. It's the New York Times Siena College poll. Found that both these candidates are in a deadlock, 48-48. And you guys, that's not in battleground states. That's for the popular vote. So it may explain why they're taking their campaigns now to these unexpected locations.
Right.
On Sunday, Trump headlining Madison Square Garden in Manhattan, reliably blue state. Harris heading to Texas today. She'll be joined on stage reportedly by Beyonce. She's given her Freedom, that song Freedom. It's become really the anthem of Harris's campaign. And also reportedly Willie Nelson joining her in Texas. The campaign saying they're going to be focusing on the, quote, serious consequences of Trump's abortion bans to women's lives.
Serena, you have been to so many of these rallies for both former President Trump and Vice President Harris. You talk about the numbers. I mean, there's been a lot of focus on crowd size, the 23,000 that was at the Harris event here yesterday, and then we have the early voting numbers. Those are breaking records. I know we're at that point. Everybody's trying to read into what does it mean? Who does that favor? I mean, what information is there? Is there any information that shows what these large numbers actually mean for who wins?
Well, look, I was actually speaking to an expert about the early voting here in Georgia yesterday, and they were telling me that it's the same group of voters just voting in a different way, that they don't expect drastically different numbers in overall voter turnout, maybe 5–10%, which can make or break an election, especially when it's this close, but not maybe perhaps the full 8 million registered voters. He said typically it's around 5 or 6 million that come out, and it's probably going to be around the same this year for the state of Georgia, but that they're just choosing to vote early instead. But when we look at these poll numbers, they've been pretty consistent this election cycle.
No matter the controversy, no matter the scandal, it doesn't matter.
Avoiding an assassination attempt, it hasn't really budged. It's been within a couple of points, within the margin of errors, basically tied. And we like to hit polls. I've done it myself. But when you look back at historically, they've always been pretty close within the margin of error of what those previous polls say. So it's likely looking up that this election is going to be made probably on election day, and it's all going to end up coming down to turnout. Who is more enthused about